Hi there, my name is Kendrick, and today I get to have Elvis back. So Elvis, welcome back, dude.
Hello, glad to be here.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Can you please let everyone know what your full type is again?
Well, in my Spriggs, I'm an ISFJ jumper, which means I'm SITI, sleep, consume, play, blast.
Gotcha. And your social type?
I'm a social type number 3.
Got it. So it's been like almost several months since we last spoke. How have you been, and what has your journey been like? Working on your demons.
Um, I, Actually, like everything which can change, did. I got out of school and now I'm studying. I'm studying music, the cello, and yeah, I also moved out, and which means I got to experience my not so good qualities entirely on my own. And yeah, so it revealed a lot, and it's although it was very much new input, like at once there was like a chance that I could crumble, but I like managed to grow through it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. A lot of changes the last spoke to you, eh? Moving out is huge. That is a big change, for sure. Especially for you, you're an IJ. Although you're not a traditional IJ, you're like a glass lizard, so you're like a very EP like IJ, like double activated consume, right? So you won't have
Yeah, true.
yeah. Um, can you walk us through your thoughts and feelings when you finally moved out, especially from your perspective, because you're an IJ, right? There must be a lot of fears of the unknown, right? You know.
um well, before I moved out, I was like, okay, let's do something which I usually do not do. And I like started to explore all the city with my bike. I went to places which I didn't go before. Yeah, and like basically, I I went on long cycling or hiking tours to just uh, to at least get to know the place before I leave it.
You mean the place you were before, the city?
Yeah,
Okay, I
yeah,
gotcha. Okay, so you did some exploring before you left, is what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay, got it. Um, well, you've left now. Do you feel like you've adapted easily since leaving? And also, I think last time I spoke to you, you didn't have a girlfriend yet, also, right? Is that also,
No, everything changed.
yeah, so you
Now
have a
now
girlfriend and you move out. So you did two big, like, that's a pretty huge swing. Like, uh,
uh, yeah, and the crazy part is my girlfriend is also, I'm suspecting, almost like the opposite of me. So it also brings on top of that much more contrast into my life, because now I see I see like what people on the other end of the spectrum experience. So I got so much contrasting experience. But what was the question?
well, I was asking you what you thought and how you felt about all the big changes in your life because you got a girlfriend, you moved out, and you're pretty young still, right? So that's those are huge. Those are two huge changes, and you moved in with her too, right? So
Well, I'm staying at her place in holidays,
okay.
but
Oh, you're not there permanently. It's temporary.
yeah,
Okay, so you're going back to your city then.
yeah, right.
Okay. I got the context. I thought you actually moved out, but no. Okay, that's cool. So your girlfriend might be an EP then, because IJs and EPs usually they date, right?
She's she's not far off from your type. Uh, she's I think ESTJ jumper, sleep last, and either I don't know. I'm sure on masculine sensory, but I don't know if audio or double masculine. Yeah.
Oh, I see. She got type also, or that's
No.
kind of your
But
paper.
I have a pretty good estimate.
So you think she's a decider? She has people problems as opposed to
Yeah.
things problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. How did you come to that conclusion? Kind of interested to hear your, perspective.
Um like well, when we are like when there's some when we have some problems and there was like some miscommunication, it always comes to the point where she's worried that I'm not mad about at her, and I'm always in fear how to like where did how could they have how could I have dealt with the information better? It's always like with always fearing something else, and then at the end we're like, oh, so you're not mad at me, okay, and so the other way around, and it always diffuses quickly.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of weird being a double decider because it's like it must be the thing. The thing's the problem in a relationship. It's not the person. So um, just refusing to uh get fall for the trick of the people problem, right? Like there's something that's causing this issue.
Yeah, it's just I'm just then thinking about like I'm worrying about the ways like damn it, like it was I'm thinking what it was pretty dumb. Just I'm saying the most ambiguous things, and then of course there's a hyper chance that the other end doesn't interpret it the way you did, and then it's always also the plus plus might play into that.
Right.
But uh yeah, and especially at event gatherings or when uh like we meet up with my friend group or with her friend group, uh she like always like tries to calm herself because of she might expect some weird situations, and 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 me on the other hand, I'm just not absolutely worried about it at all. Yeah, but she like she can suppress that pretty well, and she can like cover up her fears. All right, I have to pause.
Oh yeah, sure. So I'll let everyone know what's going on. So everyone, Elvis just letting his girlfriend in the apartment. He told me before our interview started that he's gonna have to pause and open the door. So let's give it a minute and wait for him to come back. Just for context, I did interview Elvis a year ago, and I'm gonna ask him this question when he comes back. I'm gonna ask him about his double feminine sleep first animal, his ST sleep, because that was his biggest problem, was that his identity, he had trouble solidifying it because of his double feminine ST sleep. So I'm gonna ask him about this as soon as he gets back from grabbing the door for his girlfriend. So I will just wait for him to come back. I know it's a little bit awkward to wait here like this, but it's okay. Awkwardness it is. Kind of reminds me of that ENFP guy from Between Two Ferns, Zach Galifianakis or something. I can't pronounce his last name, but he's like the king of awkwardness. So we'll make this like an awkward silence moment. Oh, there he is. All right, welcome back, dude.
Sorry, what did I miss?
Nothing. I was just saying that I wanted to ask you next about your first animal, your sleep, because last time we spoke, that was like the big thing. It was like double feminine ST sleep. So no matter what you did, your identity could never be solid. It was so annoying for you, right? Like it, and your sleep first, so you keep going over it, but then nothing will stick. So it's you're stuck in this permanent loop of, not,
it
with your identity essentially.
it's very true. You I can basically it's I can tell me whatever I want and I can make myself believe it.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad thing. That's a superpower because there's a lot of famous people that do that. Like for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the ENTJ guy, and he's also FM like you, right? So he has feminine FI, and he said that so he picks the identity for himself because he can't make it solid. So he can choose instead an identity he wants to be. So that's how he became the best bodybuilder in the world, the best not the best, but one of the best action stars in the world in Hollywood, and then became a politician, like governor of California, right? So he chose his identity and he made it happen. So that's like the power of feminine TI or FI is that you can choose. So you because your identity is not solid, you can choose like you can change also, right? So have you given
Yeah.
any thought to what your identity that you want to be for the next bit, and then kind of like if you have plans of also changing it, or is that still kind of like confusing for you?
The thing is, uh, like when like 2 3 months into when I had moved out, I like got to this point where I wanted to figure out, okay, what's in which direction do I want to go, and it made me go on a real observer fuck off because I was just getting too paranoid and getting really distressed because I couldn't handle when the more I thought about it, the more uncertainty I saw. And so that's like I really got into a mentally bad place because I like tried to do it so seriously. And until like I told myself, okay, enough of this. I'm just going my ways and just living day by day. And at that point, I just got more happier. But now when I try to think about it, uh, it's, there's like as time like goes on, I'm like I will discover some new things or which I like doing, something like that, and then I try to fit it into this one umbrella of a vision, which like how can I combine this somehow in the future? Like for example, uh, like I'm studying cello, but what I also like doing as well is writing music. So I of course try to combine that, and there's some other things as well, but like for example, looking a bit into electronic music and producing, or but it for sure seems very artistic. Yeah, what I want to do in the end.
I see. So it's kind of interesting that you're going towards your last animal, like SF, because music is SF, right? So you're SF last, and you're going towards your final animal as your goal, essentially. And also the opposite of your sexual modalities, because you're visual, right? And then audio is the opposite. So you're going all in your last animal and your last sexuals also, which is audio.
Well, to
Yeah, go ahead.
to be fair, I thought about it and I thought, like maybe like I don't know why, but I don't find it so really so exceptional. Like I don't think I have a like some special thing going on with my visual modality, because on the other hand, I have like the consume, which is audio, and it's also double activated. And I thought because of that, I'm like also having like I can like I have no trouble with that as well. And it's also weird because I found that it's it's also very noticeable for other people that I have a pretty good auditory memory, which is weird. Uh, and I even dream sometimes just audio. But that aside, yeah, it's I just see it like because of how it happened to be. Just like sometimes I venture on the audio side, sometimes I venture on the visual side. It's like I can choose it, and it's not so much lopsided. So yeah,
Well, I think Dave and Chan said before that there's people who are exception to the rule. So you could be the exception to the rule. That's the first one. And then the second one is also you've gotten a lot of training with music when you were young. And when you're young, that's the best time to learn something. It's easier than when you're older. Not saying it's impossible when you're older. I'm just saying it's a bit easier. So I feel like because you were exposed to that when you were younger, I think that's like a beautiful thing because then now you have an unfair advantage, compared to other people. Because now you have what do you call it? You have access to the audio, and then you're also working on SF, which is also really good because you're SF last, right? So
yeah.
yeah, and also
Actually, about
one last thing before you continue. Um, the SF last for you, it's also really important to develop because it's the biggest container for your cognitive function. Because your SI and your FE is actually the biggest, while your TI and NE are the smaller containers, right? So you have more opportunity to grow as a person if you develop the SF than if you develop the NT, right? So it will help you also grow so much better as you get older because then you'll be able to fill up those um SI and FE than if you didn't develop it, right?
yeah, that's very true. It's not like rather than just looking at it like a container, I would just say making it a better, making it just strong enough to bridge the cycle better to not like get into any weird situation where you fuck up things.
Right.
But uh yeah, and about that, like I got some projects just lying around for like years, which like, oh, I want to write that, and I have started so many song ideas and compositions, but I never finished them. And so now when I was like when I started living on my own, I managed to get a bit of momentum and like actually start like actually finish finish things and cross things off the list, which were there like, for like 3 4 years, and never ever like was it so satisfying but painful at the same time. Uh, and the stupid thing is, like I know that if I do the blast, I will be very proud of myself. But still, then I'm I'm still thinking, okay, ah, this is this hurts. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. It's so strange.
You're referring to your blast? It's very strange,
Yeah,
difficult. Yeah, your blast lasts for sure. That one no one will ever deny. You have I can see that you're don't like if you look at your SF blast, I can see that you don't have trouble that much with the SF side of things, right? But you have more trouble with the blast, like the actual organizing your thoughts and saying it organizedly to the tribe. I think that part is the one that you have the most trouble with from what I can see, because I think it's because you have feminine SI, so you have to organize. your whatever you want to say, but then because it's feminine, it's so hard to organize it, right? So when it comes out, it's like, oh, what did I just organize? It's gone, you know?
It's pretty weird. Uh, Usually, the way it works is just I'm in a situation I have to tell something, and then of course then like after everything happened, like 30 minutes after my shower, I can answer the things, but not right away.
But the funny thing is, one of the best public speaker in the world is one of the most evil man in the world, and he's also FM ISFJ. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Not been on the class. I don't know.
Okay, no, it's okay. Don't worry. So okay, so maybe you'll be shocked a little bit. So this person is an ISFJ FM, but play last, a little bit different from you, and also blast first. But it's Hitler. Okay, Hitler is an ISFJ FM.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But he's one of the best public speaker in the world, like so good at public speaking, even though he's like a horrible human being. But like his public speaking is no one can deny it was really powerful, right? And he's FM, so there's a chance that you can be really good too. I'm not saying you should be like him, but I'm just saying like the power of the speech, right? And maybe he's using a lot of the play also, like double masculine NF play, because you have double masculine NF play, right? You know, um. So so there is the potential for that to be like a really good speaker if you practice enough. So it's just a matter of practice, in my opinion.
Yeah, true, true. It's like at the end, it's just uh, things of repetition or how many miles you did
Yeah.
consume, sleep, or play or blast. And that's something as well which I notice very strongly because uh like my girlfriend, like she also wants to study an music instrument, violin, and but she's not so developed and she didn't come from such a lucky background such as me.
Okay.
And so like then I basically like it was up to me to teach her more things because her teachers also weren't very good, and I had like access to very good mentors, and like I could provide for like I did my best. Okay, I'm stumbling over words, but I yeah I just I made use of my knowledge, and like although we play different instruments, I played the cello and she plays the violin. It's like as when I started thinking about it, I still could like discover some parallels, and then when I got it out of the way, I like through some like trial and error, like I managed to get into her mind to bring concepts across, like how to do things, and at least in this one area, like I some I developed a little bit the blast, and yeah, this would like also count with the other areas. But yeah, it's a start.
Yeah, no, that's definitely very good. Like teaching your girlfriend. I think that's an amazing place for you to practice that blast.
Yeah.
So it's good that I think this relationship is gonna help you a lot, actually, develop as a person. Um,
Side note, she says I'm like my tips helped the most.
that's the what?
She says my tips helped the most.
Oh, your tips help the most.
Even even if she has like normal proper violin teachers, like she
Yeah.
says my help more. So
Oh, that's good. So I
that's
think that's also good for your because you're social type 3, so you have savior flex, right? And ego. So that really makes you feel good to hear that.
I'm taking pride in that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's awesome, dude. So speaking of your social type 3, right? Which kind of contradicts
Right.
with your animals because your double masculine animals play. So double masculine NF play, right? But your social type 3 is demon friends, right? So can you share because number social type threes can either really avoid people or have friends, right? Because they're in the middle. Because it's a demon, but it's not in the bottom. It's not like social one, right? It's in the middle, kind of like social twos, right? So it's kind of it balanced with the friends and flex, right?
I
Um,
see.
yeah. So do you find yourself being more on the side where you're friendly and you like people more than like the demon side because it's in the middle? Or do you find yourself like actually having demon friends and you're friendly, but you're not really close with people?
It depends. Uh, I found that I need to get through my sleep routine and my personal things first, and then like I can be open. But the thing is, I learned that like because like somehow I need to get through the sleep anyway. But if like there some people want to do with me like stuff early, and then like it's like somehow like I get pulled backwards through my cycle and just messes the whole thing up, and then I cannot find a working rhythm throughout the day. And so like I need to protect like myself, and like I would rather just engage with my friends later when I'm done. And yeah, it might seem sometimes that I'm avoided, but it's just a protection thing, because it's so tricky to follow through with my double feminine sleep, you know.
Yeah, no, it makes sense actually what you're saying because there was a guy, his name's Alex Hormozy. He was talking about what you were just mentioning. He's the ESTP guy that David Chan kind of referred to as one of the best ESTPs. Um, and one of the things that he said is if he's doing specialization work, he didn't exactly say the word specialization, but when he's doing kind of focus work, that's more specialization in nature, he needs to be 100% alone because having people distracts you from that work. So I think helps me understand social type threes better, like you guys, that you're not avoiding people because you don't like people. You're avoiding it because it will affect the work. So I feel like for number social type threes, there is a time and place for work. So it's either after you finish your work, like after work, okay, or on the weekends or whatever. It has to be separate.
True,
You cannot touch
true.
that time period to do specialization work cannot be influenced or touch. It has to be purely
Yeah.
focus. So
And I even like I gave it a chance. I thought, okay, let's see how things work out when I try to make plans with people like every day or every second day, and just at the end of the week, like there was always like a big disaster because I had just three things at the other side stalling, and it's just because I'm just getting carried away, and it's so hard to come back. Yeah.
yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. Actually, the other thing too is I think as a social type three, you really have to work on having good communication with friends because if let's say today you're focusing on your work and then you made an appointment to see your friends after work, but then you're doing so much good work that you cannot see your friends. You have to keep working. So like you have to almost warn your friends first, like, hey guys, there's a 50% chance I can make it. So it's I kind of like just being a good friend, right? Because there's a chance you're not gonna show up because your work is so good they have to keep going, right? You know? Um,
I'm always guilt tripping myself into like interrupting my work and just hanging out with my friends, because it's just rare anyway.
yeah.
But then it's like I'm not get I'm just in the back of my mind, I'm just worrying myself a little. And it's just, yeah, I I didn't have the courage like to also find it a bit in I think it's better for them if when I it's just better if I just show up instead of saying, okay, there's a 50% chance if I show up or don't, because then my plus class is going to think, okay, just going my own pace, and at the end I'm just staying home all the time. And so that's why I force myself to interrupt and go anyway.
Oh, I see, I see. Because otherwise you're gonna get stuck if you don't force yourself. So, okay, that makes a lot of sense actually. That's a good point. Um, the other thing that I noticed with social type threes is, um, social type threes in the original definition is responsibility last, right? But it's not like you're irresponsible. It's more like you are responsible for that one thing, hyper focus on that one thing, right? So some other parts of your life could fall apart because you know, let's say you have 100% responsibility, then you gave 90% of it to that one thing and a 10% to the rest. So it's of course it's not gonna do well. But in social type two, they spread it out. So it seems like they're doing good in a lot of things, but actually they're not developing as much as a social type three, right? In theory, at least.
Well,
But
I think it's should be mentioned that the focus is not fixed. You can just put it anywhere. It's just how much percentage of it lies in the focus.
right, there is a percentage that you can allocate, but threes, because you are focused on the specialization, you will focus more on that area of specialization instead of the other stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's gonna be a tendency, is what I'm trying to say.
true, true. It's like, but I'm there's a way you can manage it by just saying, okay, like uh there's a period where you might have a ranking on priorities and you do this the most, but then after a while, like 1 week or 2 weeks, you can just make a switch and treat other things as much more important and just switch the focus between things. So even though you can't pay attention to all the things at the same time, you can just do this one a bit higher, and at the same time this one goes down, but then you switch focus uh, at the right time where you can just keep balancing everything on a level.
Oh, I see. So you're scheduling it to make sure that you're addressing everything. So that's where your SI is coming in. It's like scheduling the right.
But it's feminine SI, just like when I feel like it, not on a date.
Okay. No, yeah. That's so funny. I like that. I love that. Like it's I like how you're like, but it's feminine. It's a little bit different. It's not as rigid. It's kind of chill. It's more chill, you could say. Um. So okay, yeah. And one last thing on the specialization that I've noticed with you guys is I think I've noticed because I have like social type three friends, and sometimes they can be a pain in the ass. But then I notice when they're really happy is when the group just makes sure that everything has been taken care of for them, right? And then they just give you the money. Like I'll give you an example. Like have you ever seen wrestling, like WWE wrestling? Do you know what I'm talking about or no?
Rarely.
But
Of course, I know what it is.
yeah. So anyways, they came to my city in Vancouver. And one of my close friends is social type number three, ISTJ. Okay. So he doesn't want to do any of the planning, even though he's an IJ. He wants like me to take care of everything. It's like, okay, he wants me to buy the tickets for him. He wants me to arrange the ride to go there. So everything has to be arranged for him. And he said, I'll just give you the money. Can you do everything? So of course I'm a two. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. So he gave me the money. He's like, okay, here's the money for parking. Here's the money for the tickets. You do everything. I just show up and enjoy the show. So and I noticed like a lot of social type threes are kind of like that. It's like, oh, here's the money. You do the work. I just sit here and relax. But it's kind of funny like to see that. I don't know if you have that in your head too. Like if you think that's something that you would love for happen. Like it doesn't have to be money too. It could be like, having someone take care of everything for you. Like if you work in an office, someone takes care of the rest and you just focus on the one work. Or if it's music, you're just making the music and someone brings you breakfast, someone brings you your lunch, you need to go work out, you have a personal trainer. It will take you to the gym. Everything's taken care of, so you don't have to think. You can focus on the one thing. Everything else is taken care of by someone else. It's not something that you like fantasize about. Like, oh, that'd be so sweet if I have all this.
I don't particularly fantasize about it because uh well, I can relate, but because like I had parents which were like very helicopter like parents, and like I sort of like don't at the end don't really like it
Really?
because it reminds me of that situation. But surely I can relate. And in friends, when we arrange meetings, it's like yeah, I don't like they it. Well, the most convenient way is just they like automatically like try to get something going. At the end, you just say confirm, not confirm.
Right.
But then there's on the other side, there needs to be you need to pay back, and then like once in a while, you or me at least, I do like most of the thing for one meeting, but it's just once in a blue moon.
Yeah. Exactly. So it wasn't a
Yeah,
blue moon, you'll do the number two thing, the social type two. But usually you'll
yeah,
yeah. And I think it's hilarious that you don't like it. You don't like doing the social type three thing sometimes because it reminds you of your parents. I think that's kind of funny that you said that. Um, so
yeah. Uh, it's, uh, I'm also thinking to myself like it's pretty weird because basically how I grew up, I'm like I noticed like I already like got to experience how I got the full experience. And so like for too long, I don't want it anymore. And so I think this is very helping me to be a better free.
yeah, and I think a lot of threes also fantasize being a two because it's like a lot of twos fantasize being a three, right? Even myself, like I'm a two, right? I'm like, oh man, being a three so sweet. Like someone just does all the stuff for you. I focus on my work. Man, that sounds amazing. So it's like I think there is like that cross fantasization, like of like the other side, you know. And but a lot of threes, a lot of people like I really love our threes, like especially in music. Like my favorite music person is Eminem, right? And he's a social type three, I love his rap music. So, um, but he had a hard upbringing, right? So it kind of forced him to also be responsible for his life because he has no choice, Otherwise he'll be dead, right? Or like living in poverty, right? Because of the way he grew up. So, so I
Right.
think so I think as a three, it's also important to put yourself in difficult situations so you can train yourself to, you know, practice stuff that you're not usually using as a three, Um, so dude, the last thing I want to discuss to you is actually I want to open the floor to you because you wanted us to do this interview. So there must be something you want to discuss with me if you want to do this interview again. Uh, so what is it that you want to us to discuss that we haven't discussed? Because we talked about your social type and your animals already. Um, what would you like to discuss? I leave the floor open to you.
Well, there's something like well, yeah, there's I didn't really I don't really have something on my top right now, but something which I'm grappling with is like just trying to get the balance with sleep and play working, because at the moment it's just like I'm it's just feels like I'm jump starting something with much effort, but then uh, I jump start and I shut down everything, and just like I don't understand how I can work with my sleep and play.
Don't you have them in the middle? Isn't that kind of automatic already? Like you do your sleep processing and then the plays with the tribe, right? You don't see yourself having the right balance with processing your inner world and engaging the tribe.
Well, in theory, mm, well, it's not so easy. It's just and what I found is with my sleep, I'm way too much movable and way too nice for a long time,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to figure out how I can set like set up. I'm so sorry. I'm thinking about this right now. It's not a solved thing, so I like it's
No worries.
difficult to talk about this.
It's okay.
Like how can I be more like how can I be how can I enforce like boundaries but still like not having to be like really cold or all of a sudden or something like this.
Oh,
That's
I
what I'm
see.
trying to work on.
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
The weird thing is your double feminine sleep, so setting boundaries is going to be confusing for you because it's double feminine, right? Um,
yeah.
yeah. I think you have to use your SI, dude. Like you have to set aside time for the tribe and set aside time for yourself, and it's gonna be like clear cut. Like, let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that's just for you, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's tribe. So you have to schedule it because otherwise it's gonna be confusing for you. I know it's hard because you have feminine SI, right? But you have to write it down on a calendar or something. Like you have to physically write it. You have to use kinesthetic, right? And write
I
it,
have
and then have it like really big, like on the wall, so you can see it because you're visual, so you have to see it, right? Like when you wake up, you cannot like avoid it. It's like there, right? It's like it's a big calendar. You're like, oh, today is specialization day. No friends, right? No friends allowed. And then or today is like tribe day. Today is for tribe, So and then if your friends try to tell you, oh, because I know you're feminine inner world, so your friends might be like, hey, dude, can you hang out on Monday? And then you could be like, "Oh, sorry, bro. I have something in my schedule." So you can blame the schedule, right? Like, so it's not
oh,
like,
okay.
you know what I mean? It's like, "Oh, sorry, bro. I already have something scheduled on that day, bro. I can't. But I'd love to see you on Friday. My schedule's open then. So it's like you're not. It's like you're blaming the calendar, the calendar's fault, right? It's not your fault. It's the calendar's fault. The calendar's the asshole who doesn't want to hang out on Monday. You know,
I see. I see.
and it's not cold because
Yeah,
it's like you know what I mean.
it's a nice way to like avoid guilt.
Yeah, there's no guilt. It's the calendar. It's the fucking asshole calendar, right? It's not you. Even though you're the one who wrote the calendar, it's not you. It's the calendar. The calendar's the boss.
Yeah,
Actually, it's good that way too because you're double masculine play, right? So if you make something else the boss, like the calendar, that's like the thing. It's not you. It's something else. So you're looking at the external force to be the boss, right? Because you're double masculine NF play, right? So um the calendar's the boss. The calendar's telling you what to do. The calendar's telling you, hey, you know what? This is specialized as today's for specialization only, no tribe, right? And yeah,
you you know what I hate the most like about feminine identity?
yeah, what?
It's like it's just basically how much pressure other people or how much demand other people put onto you. Like that's how much you will do, but not like it's not it's only because there's pressure from the outside.
Yeah,
And 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 then like there's a periods where I have to catch up my missing blast, and there's so much like needed to be done, and like somehow miraculously I manage it because I get these swings where I can do much and I can just save it.
Yeah.
But then I'm like always thinking, yeah, you know what? Okay, that felt kind of nice. Like I tried to keep going,
Yeah.
but every time without fail, I'm just then slouching and and until pressure gets put on myself again, and I'm feeling such an idiot because of that. Like it's like I can perform, but it's only when I have to. It's not when I want to.
Yeah. Dude, you have an annoying type. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. Your type is very annoying for you. Okay, everything's a contradiction. It's so annoying. Okay, social type 3 is supposed to be self um what do you call it? They're supposed to be self-motivated, right? Right? Like internally motivated, not externally motivated. But because you're double feminine in sleep, it's like you can't do it. It's hard. So you have to go with the tribe. But your social type trees are not supposed to be externally motivated, but you have no choice because that's where your double masculine animal is. So annoying, super annoying. Like for me, I'm a little bit lucky because I'm a social type 2, right? So I'm supposed to be externally motivated, which I am, but I also have double masculine sleep, right? So I can motivate myself also. So it's like some type it's not equal for a lot of types also. You know what I mean?
I know, and every time I'm like thinking, okay, well, that was shit, and then it's like I'm basically I know like I can tell myself like uh how to say like I can you can give me any like thought mind tech or something which some thinking tool which like helps you keep going or something, but it doesn't work for me because I I need to like I I don't I just rely on self-hatred to push myself forward until I don't have this I'm just having not built up enough resentment,
Yeah.
and I know that I I know I have to wait for it, and I know I can not accelerate it, and and like uh, I'm feeling stupid.
It's okay, dude. Like, Jordan Peterson said, motivation is not logical. It's so whatever motivates you, you have to use it, even if it makes no sense or it's annoying. Like for you, you have to rely on self-hatred to motivate you. That's so annoying and that's so kind of toxic also, but you have no choice. That's what works, right? That's what works for you. So I think in the future, instead of like trying to judge yourself for having that self-hatred, you're gonna be like, okay, I need to wait for the self-hatred to come. And then once it comes, like, okay, now I know it's gonna come. It always does, and then you'll just ride the wave, right? Ride the wave of self-hatred to get the work done. And then once the work is done, then you're like, okay, I have to wait for the self-hatred to come back again. I know it's annoying, but like I said, Jordan Peter said it's not logical. Not logical at all. What motivates you? So you just have to accept that and go with it. And but without the judgment, because if you know that's like the default, then it's okay. Because you just you're like, okay, it's coming. Just wait.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
when I try to go by it like that, it's not real. When I go like, oh, I know this,
So it has to be
it's
real.
still not enough.
Has to be
Yeah,
real self-hatred.
that's annoying part.
I see. I see.
I
And that's okay.
I
That's
don't
okay.
know. It's just what I have to come to terms with because I don't
Okay,
know.
dude,
Maybe like
I just want to say one thing, okay? You have an extreme type, so you have to accept that, okay? Um, I'm play blast, consume sleep. So I'm really intense. I'm really intense with the extroversion, and I'm really intense with the introversion. You are the same, just the opposite, okay? Your sleep consume, play blast. You have to accept you are extreme, okay? There's nothing wrong with it. That's just how you were built. That's your default, okay? And that's
yeah,
so that's why you have the extreme, the thing that you just described. The how you experience life is extreme. Extreme self-hatred, for example. Like that's okay. You have to accept it and just work with it because you're not the same as the other person that has a different animal stack than you. Someone that is like an ISFJ jumper than you, same as you, it's different. Maybe they're MF, right? Like audio. If they're audio, completely different from you already, completely different already from you. You know, so you have to accept this the how you were built and just go with it, and also expect a swing to happen of extreme introversion to extreme extroversion, back and forth. And all the other things that
yeah,
you're feeling is also going to be extreme self-hatred and an extreme, like, I don't know, chillness, right? It's going to be part of you. The extremeness is part of your design, and just self-acceptance is important, I think, in this situation.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So what I'm thinking right now is just like I know I basically cannot steer my own boat, but like I can like counteract unforeseen changes by just developing a routine which just is good enough to keep me somewhat straight.
Right, there you go. You got it. Yeah. All right, dude. We'll wrap up this interview.
Yeah,
So, thanks for coming out and sharing where you are right now in your life. I think there's a lot of changes that I've seen since I last saw you. I do still see though that the biggest thing you have trouble with is blast. Is still the organizing the thought to speak. I still think that's the thing that you have the most challenges with, and that's okay. You're still young. Don't like I don't beat yourself up with, like, the only thing I say is, like, if you still suck in 10 years at this, then maybe you weren't practicing hard enough. But right, if in 1 year, 2 years you still suck, it's okay. That's my opinion, with anything, right? So, so if you feel like you suck at last thing, then dude, you're young. Who cares? So wait until you're like 30 or 40. If you still suck by then, okay, you have an issue. Okay.
I'm
You
I'm 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 praying for life to hit me hard.
yeah, yeah, exactly. All right, man. Enjoy the rest of your okay. Take care.
Thanks for having me.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.